Welcome to Think Tank Television. I'm your host, Dr. Ralph Steele, and you're listening to Think Tank Television. And I'm going to be talking to you today about estate planning and trust. And I'm so glad to have you on our broadcast today, Think Tank Television. Again, I'm your host, Dr. Ralph Steele, located in the Dallas Fort Worth area. We're here today, and I got some good news for you, some good ideas, some good information about estate planning and trust. But I'd like to begin with some questions that are very pertinent to you that I think you will find exciting and will help lead and guide you into the estate planning and trust process. So, the first question today I just wanted to ask, do you have a will that you have signed and witnessed so that you can know that when you're gone, everything is taken care of the way you desire? And that's an easy yes or no. And most of these questions today are yes or no. But I want to at least preface you today, though. If you do have a no question, you might want to consider giving it some attention as we go through the broadcast today on Wealth Think Tank Television. The second question is, have you considered a living trust that is tied to your assets in the name of the trust and also the name that you desire to have that makes sense to you, sounds good to you, beneficial to you, but also even beneficial to your family, your wife, your children, or anyone that you are going to put the trust in after you're gone. And I want to also just say about just trust, for instance, these kind of trusts I'm talking about, it gives you total control while you're living, control from the grave, and even after the grave. So these are really good trusts to have. And so just keep that in mind. The third question I would like to just kind of come to you with today is, did you select a trustee in your trust that you actually trust? Isn't that amazing? A trustee that you trust, because everybody may not be trustworthy, and then some people might spend up all your money. You don't want that either, do you? Aha, I told you so. And so you have to think about the person who you want to have as a trust. Take your time. Some of you who are Christians might even want to pray about it. How about that? Uh, and then have a conversation with that person even before you select them to kind of get some ideals to how they think about money and how good of money manager they are. Because my position is, and recommendation to you is, you need to have a person who you select as a trustee is someone who at least is a good manager of their own money. Because I've discovered that, listen, if somebody doesn't take care of themselves, how in the world that they're going to take care of you? It's not going to happen. So just keep that in mind, folks. And this is how God does too. God chooses people who He knows is going to take care of business. That's just life, isn't it? And so that brings me to question four. Do your trust take advantage of the capital gain tax exemptions? It's, hey, it's simple. Yes or no. So that's just a thought that you need to consider as you are deciding to purchase a trust and have a trust done for yourself. And then on to number five, question number five. Um, in the whole scheme of things, especially when you're talking about estate planning, is, do you have a power of attorney, especially as you age and get a little bit older and what have you, you or your wife or whoever, if you're single, because that's something. And you can have a medical power of attorney or a financial power of attorney, but it is something that folks that we all at one point in our lives will need. And so that's just thought as well. And then number six, have you established an irrevocable trust to exempt insurance proceeds from estate taxation? Well, wait a minute. Stop for a moment. Yeah. Anybody that's living in America, who wants, let's be honest about it, folks, who wants to pay any more taxes than they have to? I mean, that is a no brainer. I mean, yes, I pay taxes. Been paying taxes since I was 13. I don't mind paying taxes. I'm an American. But if I had a choice based on the law and based on reality that I could pay 5,000 versus 10,000, or I could pay 20,000 versus 200,000, that's a no-brainer. I mean, let's get real. Anyway, this is what a good, irrevocable trust can assist you, your family, in. And you know what? That takes me to question 7. Are you gifting assets that have a high probability of future appreciation? In other words, folks, listen, let me tell you a secret. When you're giving someone something, especially your children or your grandchildren, it could even be your church, it could be some community, nonprofit organization. You want to, if all possible, you want to give them things that appreciate. That way, the value is worth something, and then it can benefit not only in the future, but it can even benefit them now and especially the future. And so it's just a good way of looking at things when you look at part of your estate as gifting something to someone um, that you, if you want to look at it this way, you are excuse me, investing and reinvesting back into your own community and to America. And you know, I mean, if you're Christian, investing into your church the way God called all of us to do anyway. On to my next question, 8, is have you provided for family members with special needs? I mean, some of us have family with different kind of situations, special types of situations. You know what I mean? No fault of their own, but that doesn't mean we just leave them out. But we have the the best care for them, just like anybody else. And I've seen kids and adults who, you know, what I mean, had a special needs, but because their families had the heart to take care of them, you can look on their face, you could see their expression, you could see the joy in their hearts because they were taken care of. Like all of us want to be taken care of. And so that's one of the things that I think we all need to consider, particularly those of us who have children with special needs. And then on to the next question, number 9. Do you have the right type of insurance for your family? In other words, is your family totally financially protected? If something happened to anyone in your family, are they protected? Whether it be you, whether it be your wife, whether it be your children, in some cases, folks, even your grandchildren. Because it's better to plan in advance. Think about it. I mean, so you're clear. There's no question. You know that your family is taken care of. And that way, if something ever should or could happen, you can rest every night peacefully because you know that if an emergency occurs, it would not rob them of their financial freedom. And I believe that all of us, if you live in America, you need to be financially free. You need to live financially free. You need to understand that part of the American dream is to live in a world. And I mean, if you just, I mean, I've lived in 38 states. Just a little bit about me. I'm former military. I'm a former naval officer. Served on 5 ships, surface, one nuclear submarine. I've been all over America. America is a beautiful place. This, when you hear the song "The Land of the Free and the Brave," this is a beautiful, wonderful country that people, those of you, my audience out there, listen. God has something for you, and so that way, your family should be taking care of you too. And nobody should be out of living in poverty. You know what I mean? I believe wealth is a human right. That's one of my mottos. And I believe that in America, that opportunity is still there. It's just a matter of working hard and working smart, connecting, socializing, educating, being spiritual, being humane, being a good person, thanking God, working with people. That can happen to you as well. But anyway, it brings us to the next point. Number 10 is, do you have the right management and succession plan for your family? You want to have a sound plan in place so that if something does and when it does happen, guess what? Everything will be just fine. Anyway, our next question, number 11, is, does your estate plan reflect your current needs and wishes today? Things changes, inflation changes. I mean, interest rates changes, processes changes. And so that calls sometimes for a change in strategy, a shift in the way what you did 5 or 10 years ago might need to be changed to meet the current needs and the current processes today. There are people who may have estate plan or have done it prior to years past, but today there might be change in the law. I mean, look at the current situation we're in now. Nothing negative. I ain't going there, folks. But things change, so sometimes you have to make a different change or a shift or a transfer, an upgrade in order. Sometimes you can actually end up, especially in an investment, make more money because you took the time and gave adequate attention to your own personal finances that you needed to do, and not just let it sit there and in fact end up losing some money rather than doubling or tripling or even more, making more money than you ever even imagined or even thought because of the attention you've given it to you. So keep that in mind in terms of, uh, you know what I mean, upgrading your financial estate planning, your trust, making changes that need to be made now, not when it's too late. And so that's the big thing for me and for people. And I'm seeing now and meeting a lot of folks in the work that I do who have estate planning and trust, but it needs to be tweaked for their best interest, for their children's best interest, and for their, certainly for their financial freedom. So that's what we have to do, and in order to keep the ball rolling the way it should be rolling. Question 11 and 12 is kind of like twin brothers and sisters, and when you hear it, you'll know why. Well, here's 12. Have you had an annual financial exam to update your financial living benefits for now and the future? Well, think about it, folks. Most people, at least some of us who are very healthy, we go every year and get a financial exam from our family practitioner, our physician, whoever is your doctor that you go to every year. So I myself too, I go every year and I get a physical checkup. My doctor examined my complete whole body. You know what? I think I'm living today. I'm healthy today. My immune system is good. I didn't have any issue with COVID because I stayed in the doctor's office and I listened to my doctor. I just happen to have a woman doctor, but it doesn't matter what the gender is, does it? She is very professional. And you know what? She said, Ralph, do this, Ralph, do that. Now, I will tell you, there's some things she tell me I don't want to do, but I don't want to be hard headed either, do I? I do those things for my body and my health's sake. Guess what? It gets me physical freedom. Guess what? That's the same process for people with financial plans, estate plans, trust plans. There's some things that you need to check on and to be clear on and to improve on sometime. And you can't do it by not having a financial exam every single year. It will never hurt you to have a financial exam. What does that entail? That entails looking at doing an analysis of your complete financial portfolio, everything in there, whether it be small, large, or whatever, every investment, any insurance, 401k, pension plan, property, real estate, everything you have, you look at it. You have a financial advisor, someone like myself who's a professional, licensed, been doing it for years. So when we look at it with a fine tooth comb. We don't leave no stones unturned. Looking at it, like if you can just look through the mirror, guess what? And make the recommendation that's needed, the changes that's needed. Guess what? Bingo. Now you're going to make more money. You can, again, go to sleep in peace. You can go on vacation. In fact, you can go on more vacation because you know what? You're going to make more. 9 times out of 10, when you do that financial exam, you're going to find something that can make you more money that you may have already been making, and you will be happy that you did it. Especially when you're somewhere sitting on a beach, sipping on a little wine, or just having fun looking at the sunshine or looking at the sunset, and you're thanking God because you did the right thing. You got that financial exam, and your financial advisor was able to look at it, do an analysis, do recommendations, make the changes. Bingo, you're better off. And there's a research study too that said years ago that people who do financial exams tend to make 30% more interest and 30% more money on all of their estate than folks who don't. In fact, the people who don't end up actually losing money. And guess what? You don't want to lose money, do you? I don't. I want to make more money, not lose more money. No brainer. So that brings us to a next segment in the show today. It's question 13, which is, have you considered rolling over your 401k into an annuity, 10 for life? And what that does is, and the reason why I asked that question, folks, is because there's also a lot of folks who have anywhere from 200 to millions of dollars in their 401k, and all it is just sitting there. That's crazy. Listen, folks, you can take your 401k in many cases, especially when it's 2, 4, 6, 800, and millions of dollars. And if you roll it over, and there's no cost for you rolling it over, it's just a very minimum amount of paperwork and a signature. Bingo. You can actually double your 401k and have income for life. A lot of people don't know that. But the other plus and benefit to that is this. You also don't lose any money. And guess what? The interest rate on that varies between 7 to 15%. So you're not going to lose any money at all. And when I say lose money, none of the principal at all. None. You keep everything that if you roll over a 401k today, let's say hypothetically, you had $400,000. You roll it over today, you will not lose not 1 cent of your principal of that $400,000. That money stays with you plus all of the other monies that you're going to make and be blessed with. My friends, television audience, you cannot get any better than that. You cannot. You mean to tell me you have an opportunity to double your money? And I'm not giving you no quick, get rich quick scheme. I don't do those. This is not a Ponzi scheme. I don't do stuff like that. What you see is what you get. Just a pure old country boy and from America, down to earth, straightforward, to the point, as real as you can get. And that's what you can do if you have a 401k, or even if you have 100 or 200,000 just sitting in the bank savings account somewhere, or a credit union. You can take that kind of money, put it in an annuity 10, income for life. Guess what? Again, it'll double, but you also will have income for life. And you'll never lose any money, as I said before. So it's basically a no-brainer. Yes, I have one. So if you ask me that question, I can tell you absolutely I do. Because, hey, I'm doubling, in some cases, tripling my investments. And I want to do the same for you as well. And so again, it's just a matter of part of the whole estate planning and trust process. Now, I know sometimes one of the other general questions that people is not specific, but it is specific, that people ask me a lot of times. They say, well, Dr. Steele, I don't have enough money to invest. Oh, hold on, buddy. That's not true. If most people waste anywhere from $50 to $200 to $300, if not more, some of them more, a month on any given year. Can you imagine if you even took 25% of the money you waste and you took it, planned, and invested on yourself, paid yourself first? It would change your life. So don't let what you think you don't have be a barrier to you actually investing in yourself and making money that you need to have. I mean, you don't have to be rich to invest, but you have to be smart to invest. But you have to be decisive to invest. You have to make that decision. You have to be willing to think about yourself now and in the future. Because when you think about estate planning, that's what it is. Just what it is. Planning your estate. Now, here's another general question outside of the specific question that we're dealing with. Some people say, wait a minute. So if I invest now, well, I won't be able to spend any of my money. Well, that's simply not true. It depends on how much you're investing. It depends on what you're investing in, whether or not you'll have what we call the living benefits now. Because there's some insurance that if you invest in and open up, as your cash value grows, you can utilize some of it. There's some annuities that you can do the same thing and still continue to grow your insurance and your annuity and be able to utilize it the right way, but not spend all of it, not squander it, not waste it, but manage it the way it should be managed. And I can tell you a story about a guy who made $500,000. It was his annual income, but he was broke. And he was making it because he was what? Spending it as fast as he could make it. And also because what? He did not have an estate planning and trust in place. And we had to go when he came to me, we had to set him up with a sound estate planning and trust process. Once he got that, paid all of his bills off, moved toward becoming debt free, guess what? It changed his whole life. I mean, it just is remarkable what just taking advantage of something that's there for you as estate planning can do for you. And it changed this guy's whole life and from being broke, but having the money. I'm not talking about somebody who don't have. And that happens all the time too. I mean, it's not always the people who may be with little money or think they don't have any money or they don't have enough. Wait a minute. There is a plan for everybody and so what we do is I can actually tailor and customize a specific plan just for you and estate planning. So now, and as it grows and it develops, you'll be proud of yourself. And that's so I just want to thank all of the listening audience today. If there's any questions or comments, you certainly can call me at 817-729-0543. Again, my name is Dr. Ralph Steele, and you're listening to Wealth Think Tank Television. We're glad to have you, and you just stay tuned. Wealth Think Tank Television, Sunday nights at 6 p.m. Central Time, and if you just stay tuned and listen, and if you want to write me a question, my email is rsteele@mediationworlds.com. That's rsteele, RSTEELE, at mediation, MEDIATION, worlds, WORLDS.com. Or if you want to mail us, you're free to mail Wealth Think Tank Television at 22921 Brown Trail, and that's Bedford, Texas, 76021. Again, that's Wealth Think Tank Television, 2921 Brown, BROWN, Trail, TRAIL, Bedford, Texas, 76021. If you have any questions about this show or any question about anything related to estate planning or any processes that you need now for your family and how you can change your family financial dynamics and its wealth and its strength, please feel free to give me a call. Again, my name is Dr. Ralph Steele, 817-729-0543. I'd like to thank you very, very much for watching this show, and have a great day.